Hello, my name is Alan Rogers, and this is a narrative presentation for the outline for the final paper. The title of my paper is A Comparative Analysis dealing with literacy, teachers, peace, and culture. The comparative countries will be Cuba and the Philippines. The topic for my paper is addressing the impact of cultural awareness and global citizenship on sustainable development of education in the targeted countries. This poses the research question, what does the research literature say about the effectiveness of teachers' global mindset and cultural awareness in aiding literacy programs and sustainable development in the Philippines and Cuba? And as stated, the comparative countries will be Cuba and the Philippines. The framework for this analysis incorporates these three areas and sustainable goals, the pillar of which is peace, political participation, and access to justice. Sustainable development of education relies on this pillar, as stated in the Global Education Monitoring Report, quote, to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence. There can be no sustainable development without peace, and no peace without sustainable development, end quote. The first targeted goal would be literacy and numeracy. Most would understand the underlying importance and measurements of literacy. However, numeracy is also needed to measure true literacy. Skills such as digital and financial literacy are contributors to a sustainable development. The implementation target will be teachers. Both applauded and criticized, teachers are an implementation target that is controversial. However, I feel it is important to address the availability and qualifications of teachers in an analysis of sustainable development of education. The methodologies for the comparison analysis of Cuba and the Philippines will utilize qualitative and quantitative data, as well as the multi-level evaluation cube created by Bray and Thomas. For my analysis, the categories of the cube will be geographic location, that's the countries, the literacy rates and numeracy as a targeted sustainable development goal will be studied to identify a comparison number between the countries. This will be a mixed method research methodology of both qualitative and quantitative data. Secondly, non-locational demographic groups, age groups, will be looked at on another level of the cube. This study will use and build upon a past literacy program, Read Philippines, which studied literacy rates for grades 1 through 3. The expansion will also incorporate study results from additional education programs that studied the comprehension rates when small group learning was utilized versus very large classrooms. The comparison countries share the cultural value of importance, focus, and dedication to family. This cultural similarity will bring to the study relative and equally comparable results. In other words, apples to apples. Lastly, Bray and Thomas's cube, we will look at aspects of education and society. The study will investigate the impact of literacy rates on the pillar of peace in comparable countries. Additionally, cultural awareness and its impact on educators, students, and program will be investigated. Programs such as importance of cultural awareness for educators will be utilized to establish baseline impacts that could possibly assist in answering the research question posed in my study. The chosen dimensions from the Bray and Thomas cube should produce balanced and complete perspective on the comparative research study. Current evidence that's being used is the UNESCO 2016 report. This published report states that cultural awareness is fundamental to providing equitable learning environment for all students. Additionally, the 2019 UNICEF study addressed the gaps in teaching skills and knowledge that prevents quality education being delivered. This study directly addresses the implementation target of teachers in my study, specifically the challenge of qualified teachers in global education. A significant challenge regarding the accuracy of measurements, analysis, and interpretation is cross-country comparability. If countries use different elements in their use inside quantitative measures, is there any function for comparison? A critical issue for both options is cross-country comparability. Once again, we need to compare apples to apples. Continued research is needed. Two immediate questions that would help further the comparative analysis would be, what does the research literature say about the effectiveness of education in stemming violence? And what does the research literature say about the need to understand teacher effectiveness and help design and implement policies to address? Thank you very much.